Feed's going live as well, and you're live there, and you're live there. So here we go. And hello, South Florida. Welcome to another live edition of the Real Estate Show. We're getting the feedback coming right back into the headphones there. If you guys could fix that in the studio. My name is Eric Willner, and we are live here Monday through Friday here on the AM 1470. Thank you. And we are live also on our FM station at 95.3 FM and 96.9 FM on the FM dial. And you can also listen to us live as we stream this radio show live on our Facebook page. That's right. 5 days a week when we broadcast our show. Not only are we local here on the airways, we are also on our Facebook Live. I invite you to come over there and check us out. You can watch the show. You can also watch and see all of the replays right there on our Facebook feed, just back in chronological order. You can also send us a couple of comments, give us your hellos, and of course, click the follow button there, and you can get alerted when we go live each day, Monday through Friday. Now, in addition to our 5 shows a week, we also have our Sunday Real Estate Show Marathon. From 9 p.m. on, we replay all of the shows of the week. They're starting at 9 p.m. And where everything is housed on our website at automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. As we always start off our Mondays with our Mondays on a Mission. We talk about the theme and the topics that we're going to be talking about. We're also going to give out the list of the workshops. We've got a bunch of free workshops for you to attend from the comfort of your computer or handheld phone or smart device. But each night this week following our radio show, a little bit later, we've got a workshop on the equity solution, how to build more equity and just eliminate debt at a pace that most people aren't able or even familiar to do. Then that's on our Monday night, and that's actually tonight at 9 p.m. Those of you who would like to attend that, all you have to do is text the word equity to the Real Estate Show Smart Line, and that's 561-861-2366. We'll send you out the link for you to attend that workshop. We got a couple of spots left, so don't hurry, don't wait. Type in equity to 561-861-2366. Now, Tuesday nights, we go into our credit conversation. We have our credit accelerator workshop, and all you have to do is type to the same smart line, 561-861-2366. Type the word credit, and you'll get the link to be invited to that workshop. And that's on our Tuesday night. And then Thursday, we've got our big table mastermind. And that's becoming a real favorite. And we've got a number of folks who come there from all walks of life, entrepreneurs, real estate investors, where we get together and talk about the business of real estate and the business of business for that matter. And if you're interested in attending and getting an invitation to that one, then type in the word big table to 561-861-2366. So you see a whole bunch of workshops, a whole bunch of shows, lots of information. Now, we're going to be talking more about the path to home ownership. As you know, our mission is not only to educate and empower our listeners to own more real estate, but also to help 100 first-time home buyers to buy and own their own home this year. We're going to talk about throughout the week how to get there, right? I said that the first qualification that you have to have is you have to show to me that you can rent a place. If you can qualify to rent a place, then you probably 95% chance. 95, that's better than a lot of the vaccines. 95% better chance to be able to buy a home. All you have to do, if you want to learn more about that, is text to us PATH HOME, the word PATH HOME to 561-861-2366. Because this week we're going to talk about how to start from being just a renter. And remember, when you're renting, you are financing someone else's dreams. And I want you to finance your dream by getting on the path to home ownership. Then the next step on that evolution, which we'll be talking about later this week, is rent to own and how the rent to own programs work and why it's smart to at least ask to rent to own. And if you're not able to rent to own, contact us. We have a number of owners that are willing to rent to own, and it's a phenomenal way for you to step into that path of home ownership. Now, you may step in just as a renter, just because you've got things that you've got to take care of first, or you may go right into the rent to own phase, or you might go into the agreement for deed. Now, for some folks, that might be a brand new concept. And if it is, then stay tuned this week, because we're going to demystify all of that, stepping from renting to rent to own to deed, agreement for deeds. And then finally, we're going to talk about full-blown home ownership. But I'm going to tell you that if you follow our directions and get on the path, whether you get on as a renter, as a rent to own, as a agreement for deed, or step right into the home ownership, this is where you want to be. You want to get the information. And of course, if you have any questions or you want to set up your own complimentary conversation, same number, the smart number, the Real Estate Show smart number, 561-861-2366, and type in the word discovery, and we'll set up an appointment where we can have a one-on-one conversation regardless of what your situation is. I don't care whether you have no credit, bad credit, or can't spell credit, whether you have income that you can verify the traditional way through tax returns, or there may be other ways that we can show you that you can actually identify and verify your income that's acceptable to someone that'll help you to own a home. So that's kind of the theme that we're going to be talking about throughout the rest of the week. Now, remember, we start out on our Mondays on a mission. We go to our Tuesdays, tools, tips, and techniques, where we'll talk about the real definitions and get into the nitty gritty, how it's done, what's done, and we'll give out a number of tools that you can use in that process. Wednesday is our midweek report, and that's where we get into the news of what's going on out there in the real estate world, how it affects buying real estate. And maybe it's news in the stock market and a couple of other places. Obviously, what's going on in politics also affects a bit of the real estate, a lot going on in that regards. So we'll bring you the latest up to date on that section. And then, of course, we have on Thursdays are about the money, where we'll talk about the financial instruments and the strategies that you use, and maybe even how to get some of the documents that you need in order to document the things that we've been talking about on that path to home ownership. And then that takes us to Friday, where we usually do the highlights, and we do a quick summary wrap up of each day. We talk about some of the things that are going on in the marketplace as well. And for the rest of today's show, I want to spend a little bit of time on two things. Number one, I got to spend some time and from the Mortgage Bankers Association. As many of you know, I've been involved in the mortgage industry for over 2 decades. And we get a lot of information directly from the top there, talking about what's going on in the finance aspect, which of course greases the wheels for home ownership. And right now, that's kind of interesting. We had a conversation and a report put out by the chief financial officer, the chief economist for the Mortgage Bankers Association of America, which is a major across the nation organization. And a couple of the takeaways that we took away from that conversation and the related report. Number one, home buying is going to remain strong in 2021. So we're getting lots of confirmation of what we've been talking about before, that there's not going to be this foreclosure tsunami. As I mentioned, there will be an uptick when they finally take away those supports. But just got another email that all of the Fannie Mae, they got extended out until the end of March. So here we are, delayed from the end of November to the end of December to January. And each month they keep pushing it back a little bit. And remember, I've been hearing conversation that this may go on as late into the year as September. So What that tells me is that there's going to continue to be a shortage of inventory out there. And though rising prices and record low inventory could hinder some of that growth in the sales, but that all that means is that the prices are probably going to go up more as the supply and demand issue continues to really be the main force. Refinances are expected to decline after a while. If everyone who could is now refinanced to a 3 or below 3% rate, there's not a lot further to go than from there. So we still got record low interest rates. So don't hesitate. Don't wait for the economy to turn around and those rates go the other way. It's only a matter of time when that will happen. Particularly, I think in the second half of the year, you might see some of those rates begin to rise. And here we go. We're already now in the first week of the second month. January is now a checkbox in the list. It is in the history books. Whatever you did, you did. Whatever you didn't do, it's time to get started. Delinquencies in mortgages remain somewhat elevated. They came down a little bit. Remember, we had as many as 4.9 million that were delinquent. Today, we're at around 2.7. Still a very high number, but nowhere near the initial delinquencies that we had at the beginning of the pandemic. And so the forbearance, as I said, just got re-extended. And so what I want to do is I want to go into the various aspects of this report. I want to talk about the pent-up consumer demand in there. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the interest rates, whole bunch of things that we're going to do. And then I got a very interesting article that I want to share with you. And we're going to talk about DACA is in the news again. And how about this? They're talking about now about making FHA loans available to all of the DACA eligible people. We'll get into the definition and who they are and why that's only going to make the real estate market better. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Hear a few words from our sponsors. So don't touch that dial. You're listening to the Monday edition of the Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner, and I'll be right back. Hey, Felipe. John is in the house. Marianne. So we got the East Coast, the West Coast of Florida, the West Coast of the United States. I'm doing good, Felipe. How are you? There we go. Rosa's listening to us as well. Interesting stuff about the DACA. That was a different spin. Hey, by the way, I read this great book. Check this out. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us, you are listening to The Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate, America's longest running show about real estate, and probably one of the hardest working shows in real estate all week long. With our 5 shows, we are live Monday through Friday, both on our AM and FM stations here locally. You can catch us also on the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the Spreaker app, and that's just to name a few of those free apps that you can download onto your smart device. Just search for WWNN Money Talk Radio or WWNN 1470. Should take you right there. You'll see the logos that you see here in the background of our Facebook page, and you can catch us and take us with you on the go. You can also go to our website at Automatic Landlord. Automatic Landlord is where we've got a whole bunch of general information. You've got a link that you can listen to our radio show live on your computer. You can listen to the rebroadcast in our archives there up under the real estate show notes. You can even listen to us live right there on the website or download a podcast version that you can download onto your smart device and take us with you and listen to us on the airplane. And now with our Sunday night marathon, all of our week shows back to back starting at 9 p.m. You can get every single show download it, take it with you, and for those longer flights or longer drives, if you will. So we were talking, and before I go back to the Mortgage Bankers Association outlook for 2021, and it's a very positive report, and it's amazing to think that it's that good, that strong, in spite of the unemployment, the pandemic, this rip-roaring election period that we went through. But here's another very interesting outcome going through in the new administration right now is working with the old administration. And so here's the very interesting part. Outgoing Housing and Urban Development Secretary, that's HUD, Secretary Ben Carson. Now remember, he was appointed by the Trump administration. He's got some stuff to finish up, but in his on his way out, he and Deputy Secretary Brian Montgomery have decided to allow individuals classified under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program that everybody refers to as DACA to qualify for FHA loans. Now, the move, which is very interesting, clarifies some ambiguous wording that's in there now around the issue that gives these residents, remember, they're here, gives these residents access to federally funded loan program. The news has been applauded by the CBC Mortgage Agency, one of the largest providers of down payment assistance. And as you know, I have been diving deep into the down payment assistance world. And as I mentioned, that if your reason for not buying a house has been no down payment, then type the word DPA or type the letters DPA to 561-861-2366. We're just putting the final touches. It'll go out either late tonight or tomorrow morning. Our latest and greatest report on down payment assistance. And if you want that information, if a little extra down payment would be helpful for you getting a house, again, type in DPA to 561-861-2366. Absolutely free, the information. These are grants. These are loans that don't need to be repaid. Pretty neat stuff. And right now, as the government is doing these things, which it believes are going to put more money back into the economy to spike up this economy, which has been very hindered by the pandemic. This is huge. In fact, and if you really think about it, this could be transformative in terms of home ownership, the demand for more home ownership. And if you think about this, recent reports have said that there are upwards of 800,000 DACA recipients in this country. And the number is so large, and these people are very eager to become homeowners, eager to put their money into the economy. Remember that homeowners, home repairs, home improvements, and all that good stuff. You're going to have a lot of cash flowing back into the real estate related fields of the economy. And they're going to either build homes, buy homes. And I think that no matter what happens in the economy, it's going to keep this sector, the real estate sector of the economy, going very well. Now, on a side note, another thing I want to tell you, especially if you're thinking, well, I wonder if all of this demand tells me that it's not a good time to invest. Let me tell you this, that in a time of rising taxes, the best tax exemptions out there, the best tax advantages are for real estate, bar none. There's no other asset class that receives more advantages than real estate, number one. Number two, in times of inflation, when the government is pumping lots and lots of money into the economy, what happens? Inevitably, and we just saw a recent reading of inflation expected above 2%. It has not been that high in a long time, and we've now seen it hit that reading. Real estate is a phenomenal, it's a very good, and hard assets are, it's gold, silver, and real estate are good hedges against inflation. So, and Felipe is asking me, yes, we are going to have our workshop tonight. If you want to get the link, all you have to do is type in the word equity to 561-861-2366. Thanks for asking that. 561-861-2366. Now, as I was mentioning before, I mean, this latest in development about DACA is going to have a lot of people asking a lot of questions. So stay tuned. We're going to stay on top of this one. This could be, one more structural support for the real estate market when they take the other supports out. So despite past controversies around the status of DACA recipients, and of course, I think you're going to find an administration that is a lot friendlier to that group. They emphasize that they are legal residents of the United States working and contributing to the U.S. economy, access to loans through FHA programs in the view of the CBC mortgage agency. This is the down payment agency I was talking about. Will spark a huge interest in home buying among DACA recipients as communities seek to lay solid roots. So she believes this is a huge opportunity for the mortgage professionals, yours truly, if they engage in this the right way. So a great opportunity, I think, going all the way around. Now, let's jump back in the remaining time that we have, which isn't too much. But the chief economist for the Mortgage Bankers Association thinks that even though a lot of people have gotten back to work after the worst of the crisis, it's not been across the entire economy. So in his outlook, he talks about the economy coming back, interest rates, record lows, employment, hopefully coming back a little bit stronger, and the mortgage industry at the same time in this report. If you'd like a copy of that report, just like I said, type Discovery. We can have a one-on-one conversation, and I can get you a copy of this report. It's very insightful. Talks about the robust housing demand, which will continue. And you've seen actually a frenzy, an increased number of homes being bought as a result of COVID-19. If COVID-19 ever had the thought that it was to hurt the real estate market, it in fact didn't. It triggered an exodus from the urban rentals to people to go out and buy historically low interest rates, as I said, boosting the buying power so people could buy bigger houses, more spread apart. And we talked about that. The Federal Reserve right now has put their position, their posture that they're going to maintain short-term interest rates at zero or near zero through 2022, followed by two rate hikes that they're planning for 2023. And as I mentioned, and they're mentioning as well, inflation will rise above 2% this year and could go higher. And that could spell for an interesting opportunity for real estate investing as well. Anyway, the music's coming in. That means I'm on my way out. That's the end of the show for today, but we are live 5 days a week. So this is just the first of 5 shows. We'll be back again, same place, same time tomorrow. Until then, check us out on our website at automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. Go give us a like, give us a thumbs up, and follow us on our Facebook page at facebook.com, The Real Estate Show. And that's it for me. Drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye. Cool stuff. Thank you, man. Happy February, Brian.